Hey. So, Invasion of Europe. I recently did a video where I talked about the meta, and today I'm going to show you some of the lists, including one from Alessio himself. So, let's do this. I'll just find the lists. Here we go. So, this first one is one list I picked out. It's from Russell. Russell C something. Can't remember the last name. And it's a British list. I picked this out because it shows something that I personally think is an issue, but also what V3 sort of is gearing players towards. It's 12 order dice, 1250. It's a rifle platoon. And look here. This is what I term veteran campers. We have a full strength unit of 10 men veteran. They get a light machine gun, and they have some sort of rule, in this case stubborn, which makes it really hard to dig them out. This unit can push up a bit, although I don't think it will do that much in the meta it's going into for this tournament. But what it really wants to do is sit in the back line and survive. It can reach out 36 inches plus 6 for movement, which makes it a perfect backline holder. And when you have multiple of these backline holders, then what you're doing is you're camping in your own deployment zone and just shooting the enemy at range, hoping that his return fire will not be effective enough to kill you. And with 10 veterans, it's going to be difficult to kill these guys, especially if they're in hard cover, sitting in a ruin somewhere behind a wall. They're going to be so hard to shift. And he has so many of these. 4 of these units, that is 40 veterans, going to be really hard to kill all those guys. On top of that, he adds an artillery observer, veteran again. It doesn't need to be veteran. You could save the points here. The 3-man veteran team is not going to be massively survivable, but, you know, he can then risk putting him out in front of a sniper. So it's fine, I guess. It's a little expensive, but it's fine. But what it does is that the enemy, which is now sitting in his own deployment zone, being shot at by 4 LMGs, is also being bombarded by this bombardment twice, wasting 2 of his turns. Those 2 turns could be crucial, especially if he has a heavy tank, which he wants to activate. Wasting 2 turns for a heavy tank, which the opponent may have paid 400 points for, a veteran tiger or something. Wasting 2 turns means that he only has 4 turns in the game. And since he's missing 2 of his shots in those 4 turns, that means he has 2 shots all of a sudden. That is absolutely massive. It gives you a huge bonus if you can pin down that tank with the artillery observer. Then he brings a half track. I don't think this is very good in this meta that we're bringing for this Invasion of Europe tournament, because there's so many heavy AT guns and heavy AT Panzerfaust and stuff. It doesn't stand much of a chance of survival. Another artillery platoon here, and again a platoon commander, veteran. He tries to make everything as survivable as possible. Double light howitzers. I don't think the light howitzers will be very good, but if the opponent forgets to bring his tank at veteran, his heavy tank, his tiger, let's say he brings a regular heavy tiger, saving a few points, those howitzers can now shoot at that tiger and pin it. Which is absolutely godsend, and that will again means that the heavy tank wastes turns. So again, he's leaning into gun lining, by the way. So yeah, all his infantry can sit in his back line, shoot. His artillery can sit in his back line and shoot. And then we get a couple of armored vehicles here. These are not special. I think these will die really quickly. They are really good. The Humbers. The airborne Jeep now sucks. But the Humber is really good in normal games of bold action. But in this meta where a lot of heavy vehicles are going to be there, I don't think it has a chance at all. And that's the list. It's a gun line. It's a camping gun line that sits in his own back line and bombards you out of existence. So that was Russell. Then I wanted to show you this one, which is from... Oh, it's the Japanese one. Who brought that? Let me just find it. It's Christopher. So 12 order dice, 1250 Japanese. And this is one of the lists where I think this list is not very good for what it's going into. It does try to, but I don't think it has much of a chance. So 12 order dice, he brings a regular commander and then huge squads with light machine guns here, SNL, IGA squads, 15 men, but they are regulars. Everything on the board can kill these guys and hurt them in significant ways, and they're so big units that you can't really hide them. This is going to suffer. The triple light mortar is fun, very fun, and is veteran, and is a large unit. This can actually push up, and should push up, so that it can use those light mortars and just sit and try and pin some enemies somewhere. And you can split fire, which is also kind of cool. But again, this unit will suffer casualties. Suicide anti-tankers haven't got a chance. They haven't got it. They're very difficult to use as is, but in a meta where everything is very heavy and it's just never going to happen that they get a chance to run at that tank. Something in the enemy back line, one of those LMG units, will see them and shoot them before they do. So I don't think it's good. And this is why I think this Japanese player haven't really got a chance, because he lacks the AT to actually damage his opponents. He does bring medium tanks. Japanese medium tanks are frankly crap. Veteran, I don't think it needs to be veteran at all, because everything can hurt this anyway, so no need for the veteran. But it does mean that you're basically only failing your command test if you're foobarring, because it's veteran and command vehicle. But I think this Shinhoso Chiha will very quickly get shot and killed by something medium to heavy anti-tank on the board. It does carry a medium anti-tank gun, which, is nice. It's a +5. But going against the Tiger frontal will not go well for you. And then Tankettes. Tankettes in normal games, really good. This one, no. These are going to get killed ASAP. And they're not going to be able to do much to the enemy. Maybe to some of the enemy infantry for these MMG Tankettes. But the enemy will go down in cover. And we've already seen that the meta tends towards large units of veterans. This isn't going to go well. I'm sorry, whoever, Christopher. This would have been a really good list for a regular tournament. For this one, I think you're going to struggle. Then I'm looking at Martin Fairweather, and he is actually one of the people that I'm predicting may win the event. 12 order dice, Soviets. He is bringing regular platoon commander with an extra man, veterans, and look at this. He brings small units of veterans, 5-man veterans. This means that they can deliver those Panzerfausts. The Panzerfausts are what is interesting here. The submachine guns also. These can push up a little bit, but they can't really stand up to sustained fire. So hide them and just be the Panzerfaust luring the heavy tanks, daring it to come in and get to point blank range. And he brings another of these, and then a regular unit with double light machine gun. This is an even better version of the backline holder, because he has 2 light machine guns, and it's a 9-man unit, so it can stand up to some fire in his own back line, but it can deliver so much more than what we saw in the British list, for instance. And another one of these, so 2 backline holders, 2 veteran units that can sneak forward, and then dog mines, of course. The dog mines are key here. They are so deadly, and he does something very, very clever with them. He puts them in jeeps, regular jeeps. So these jeeps are large enough that you could actually put an officer in if you had a single man officer, although the officer here is with an extra dude, so he can't go in. But you can still outflank these. Reserve them, outflank them. That will give you 12 inches of jeep movement. Then the dog mine will get out 6 inches, so that's 18 inches, and then you shoot another 18 inches. That is 36 inches of threat range where you hit on 4+, because you never get minus. That is scary. That is proper scary. Those dog mines, and you don't have to shoot both of them, but you might. So you're very sure to hit whatever you're aiming at. You may not kill it because it may be a heavy tank, but you will definitely pin it, and it will waste turns. And then his own heavy tanks, double IS-2s. Remember to move these first, but that's what you'll do anyway because the dog mines go in the outflank, right? The IS-2s are heavy, 10+. It's got a heavy AT gun, 6+ penetration, and a bunch of machine gun shots. It is slow load, but that's not going to matter much, is it? Because, okay, so you can't move it first. Do we care? Not a lot. The Su-76 is also really, really good. It's a good backup. I think I would actually have preferred that one of these get chopped up into 2 Su-76s, but then the order dice count would go over. Because it's got a medium AT gun. That's perfect. It may be forward-facing, hull-mounted forward-facing stuff. Who cares? It's really, really good still, especially because tanks now have 2 turns, so there's never a problem in finding a target. So, and the slow load here, vehicles with slow load cannot be given an order unless at least one other friendly unit has already been given orders. I mean, it's not going to matter much. And if you want to, take your officer, snap to him first, and then you can push the tanks. So Martin Fairweather, really nice list. I think he could do well. And then we have this other one. What was that? That is the German. That is Gary's platoon. Gary is the TO. He is bringing 12 order dice, 1250. Platoon commander, inexperienced, saving points. Nice. Spartruppen for infiltrator. They can already be on objectives if you need to. Or, move up, see if they can kill that one air observer or forward artillery observer. That's going to annoy you. Forest Grenadiers, these are not going to survive. They're going to be shot and killed very quickly. And then a heavy armored car with light autocannon, which is, nice. And here comes the crux. He brings double Death Stars. So a Storm Tiger with a heavy howitzer, rocket mortar. That's a 4-inch template. That will absolutely delete infantry if it doesn't go down, which it will. And a Tiger. Super heavy anti-tank gun, +7. This can go up against most enemies, and it's Panzer Ace because it's veteran. Ouch. Yeah, it will not kill a lot, and it will get pinned. If I was playing against this, that Tiger was getting everything I could throw at it to pin it, right? All my artillery observers would be shooting at that Tiger. So see if you can make it work, please. And we have a artillery platoon to round it out and give it some punch. Double Howling Cows with a platoon commander. Those need to go in a corner, the far corner from the enemy, because now you have 36-inch range, not the 12-inch that it says here. And a heavy weapons platoon, medium mortar with 1 spotter. Unfortunately, the second one, I don't think it needs to be a medium mortar. You could easily have saved the points, bought something else, just because the medium mortar is going to be inexperienced. With all the backline holders, the LMGs we've seen, this medium mortar sitting there being fixed, not shooting via a spotter, is going to die really quickly. Last list I want to show you today is Alessio's. So this is what Alessio Cavatori thinks that he wants to bring to a tournament. It's US 33rd Division. He's bringing a regular platoon commander with 2 extra men. So buffing that out. I don't know. I don't see a point in doing this. They will die really easily, especially to all those LMGs. Regular infantry squad, 6-man unit. Regular infantry squad, 6-man unit. Again, these will die really easily. Veteran airborne squad that are stubborn and have AT grenades. I think AT grenades may be a little bit of a waste here because you've only got 6 men. And 6 men with AT grenades are not going to... if you charge a tank, you are likely to get 3 hits, which is a +3 penetration, which will not hurt a heavy tank. So I'm not sold on that one. Had it been a larger unit, yes, you could have done that, and absolutely, you can get mathematically and a short kill against a heavy tank if you want to, if you get a large not enough unit. But for this, maybe not. The infantry here is really, really weak and will get killed really easily. Bazooka team, regular, yes. Though you should remember that a regular bazooka team, as soon as it steps out, is really vulnerable to those backline holders it will get shot at. So it may only get 1 shot as it steps out. Regular light mortar, I don't see a point in bringing light mortars regular. Make them inexperienced, save the points. Regular sniper, yep. I'm not seeing much of a reason to take him, but it's very thematic. This is a very thematic list, isn't it? Veteran Pershing. Now this is, and it's a command vehicle. Now this is where the punch of the list is. A veteran Pershing, it's going to be really, really hard to pin that, right? It's going to be really hard to pin that, and it will kill stuff. Now the trick here is, if your enemy has anything that can pin it, it will pin it, and it will try to make Alessio waste turns with that Pershing, because the Pershing is what is going to kill most of his enemies, along with the Stuart Satan. Now, the Stuart Satan is really vulnerable, but it is also a nice little flamethrower tank that can actually kill most things just because of the morale test. So those two together going to be really key. The MGMC is, of course, anti-infantry. It is going to die really quickly in the setup that you're going into, and the Greyhound may actually stand a little bit of a chance because it's got recce. It's got that light AT gun along with an HMG, so against enemy light armor is going to be really, really interesting to see if that works well. It will be pinned, but I mean, keep it near the veteran Pershing. You could even do you could do something really funny. You could have the Pershing sitting it, because the Pershing is a massive tank, and then have the Greyhound next to it. If something shoots at the Greyhound, just recce behind the Pershing, get hard cover for it. That would be fun. So yeah, that is it from me today. Good luck to everyone going. I hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers.